They were shocked not because it was expensive, rare, or advanced, but because it was simple, almost embarrassingly so. Something the human body has been quietly asking for its entire life, yet after 60, most people have slowly stopped giving it. And when doctors looked at the data, the scans, the blood markers, they realized this daily act was not just helpful, it was foundational to how the aging body repairs, adapts, and survives. After 60, the body does not suddenly break, it quietly negotiates. This is something medicine has come to understand more clearly in recent decades, not through dramatic discoveries, but through careful observation. When doctors track aging bodies over time, they see a pattern that is both sobering and hopeful. Strength, balance, endurance, and resilience do not vanish because of age itself. They fade when the body stops receiving a clear signal that it is still required to function at full capacity. Biology, at every stage of life, is economical. It preserves what is used and slowly withdraws support from what is ignored. This principle, simple yet profound, becomes especially important after 60. Muscle tissue offers one of the clearest examples. Many people believe muscle loss is inevitable with age, but science tells a more nuanced story. Muscle fibers are living structures, constantly remodeled in response to demand. When movement becomes less frequent, less intentional, or more cautious, the body interprets this as a shift in priorities. It reallocates energy away from maintaining muscle mass because muscle is metabolically expensive. Over time, this leads not only to weakness, but to instability, slower reaction times, and an increased risk of falls. Yet when daily movement is reintroduced, even gently, the body responds with surprising enthusiasm. Muscle cells activate dormant pathways that rebuild strength and coordination. This does not require intense workouts or athletic ambition. It requires consistency. The body does not ask how hard you move. It asks how often you remind it that movement still matters. This same principle extends to bones. Bone tissue is often imagined as static, but it is in fact dynamic, constantly breaking down and rebuilding. After 60, the balance between breakdown and formation becomes more fragile. Without regular mechanical stress, the subtle pressure created by walking, standing, reaching, and changing direction, bones receive the message that their strength is no longer essential. Density slowly decreases, not as an act of betrayal by the body, but as a rational response to perceived inactivity. When daily movement is restored, bones receive a different message. They sense load, variation, and purpose. Specialized cells respond by reinforcing structure, not dramatically, but steadily. Over months and years, this can mean the difference between fragility and resilience, between fear of falling and confidence in one's footing. The cardiovascular system follows the same logic. The heart is not simply a pump that weakens with age. It is a responsive organ that adapts to demand. When movement becomes rare, the heart grows accustomed to minimal effort. Blood vessels stiffen because elasticity is no longer required. Circulation becomes less efficient not because the system is failing but because it is underutilized. Daily movement reverses this conversation. Even modest activity encourages the heart to beat with purpose, improves the flexibility of blood vessels, and enhances the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to tissues. Over time, this reduces strain rather than increasing it. Doctors observing older adults who move daily often note lower resting heart rates, improved blood pressure regulation, and greater tolerance for physical and emotional stress. What is especially striking is how quickly the body responds once movement becomes a daily habit again. This challenges a deeply rooted fear among older adults, the fear that it is too late. Biology does not operate on regret. It responds only to present signals. A muscle fiber does not remember how long it was inactive, it only senses whether it is being asked to work today. A bone cell does not judge the past, it reacts to current pressure. The heart does not dwell on years of stillness, it adjusts to the rhythm it experiences now. This is one of the most compassionate aspects of human physiology. It is forward-looking by nature. Daily movement also restores coordination between systems that gradually drift apart with age. In youth, movement seamlessly integrates muscles, nerves, balance centers, vision, and breathing. Over time, Inactivity causes these systems to lose synchrony. Movements become cautious, fragmented, and inefficient. This inefficiency then reinforces fear, creating a cycle where people move less because movement feels unstable, and movement feels unstable because they move less. Gentle daily motion interrupts this cycle. Neural pathways are reactivated. Balance improves not through conscious effort, but through repeated exposure. The body relearns trust in itself. Doctors often describe this process in clinical terms, but there is a deeper human dimension that emerges in practice. When older adults begin to move daily, something changes in how they inhabit their bodies. Posture subtly shifts. Steps become more deliberate but less hesitant. There is a reclaiming of space, a sense that the body is not merely something to be protected from harm, but something capable of participating in life. This psychological shift is not separate from biology, it is part of it. Confidence alters movement patterns, and improved movement reinforces confidence. The body and mind, which modern life often treats as separate, reveal themselves once again as a single, integrated system. Movement also plays a quiet but crucial role in cellular housekeeping. Every day, cells produce waste products that must be cleared efficiently to prevent damage. Circulation, lymphatic flow, and metabolic exchange all depend on motion. Unlike the heart, the lymphatic system does not have its own pump. It relies on muscle contractions and changes in posture to move fluid through the body. When movement is scarce, waste accumulates, contributing to fatigue, swelling, and a general sense of heaviness. Daily movement restores this internal circulation. The result is not just physical lightness, but mental clarity. Many older adults report feeling more awake, more present, and more themselves after establishing a simple movement routine. Importantly, daily movement after 60 is not about resisting aging, but about aging intelligently. There is a cultural narrative that frames aging as a battle, something to fight against or delay. Biology tells a different story. Aging is a transition, and movement is one of the tools that helps the body navigate that transition with grace. The goal is not to perform like a younger body, but to support the older body in doing what it does best: adapt. When movement is approached as communication rather than competition, it becomes sustainable. The body is no longer pushed, it is invited. Doctors were particularly struck by how modest the threshold for benefit appeared to be. The body does not require long sessions or extreme intensity to respond positively. It requires regular reminders. A daily walk, intentional stretching, gentle strength work using one's own body weight. These acts tell tissues that they are still part of a functioning whole. Over time, these signals accumulate. Small improvements compound. Stability improves first, then strength.